a Florida car chase in June 2020 may have ties to enigmatic Havana Syndrome, with the body cam footage showing the driver reaching speeds of 110 on a Key West highway. Upon arrest, officer discovered suspicious items in the suspect's car, including bank account notes, a walkie-talkie-like device capable of erasing GPS data, and a Russian passport. The suspect, identified as Vitaly from St. Petersburg, repeatedly professed ignorance when questioned by authorities. The incident adds complexity to the ongoing investigation into Havana Syndrome, first reported by U.S. and Canadian embassy staff in Cuba in 2016. Despite recent NIH findings ruling out a clear cause, the mystery surrounding the condition persists, raising questions about its origins and potential connections to directed energy attacks or other factors. Vinny.
So it's just kind of weird. And I don't know if anybody did you watch the 60 Minutes? The Havana Syndrome?
Yeah, and I've read 2 articles all the way through about this guy, the chef, and everything.
Okay, yeah. So the guy in question, Mo, this guy's speeding. He's running away from cops. He's going 120 miles an hour. They pull him over. If I tell you guys, when you see it, the spy kit, like, it's just a spy kit. Bank records from different banks, his passports, and they're like, why were you going that fast? He goes, I cannot tell you. I don't even know what. Like, clearly the guy's a freaking spy. All right, he has this crazy backstory. He's here as a chef, whatever. They send him back because he gets in trouble for all the spy stuff. Guess what Russia does? Puts him on the front line in the war in Ukraine, and he dies in the front. I swear to God. Okay, so anyway, and going back to this thing, guys, this is direct energy laser weapons that they're claiming, and it's going after anybody that's, Department of Defense, all these people in government that were investigating anything with Russia. This one lady in the documentary, she walks by a window, Mo, and she feels like a boom, like an attack. Dude, I got goosebumps because it's crazy that I know they have this technology. Beamed her in her ear. She has holes in her eardrums. She falls on the floor. Her husband's like, what the hell's going on? And it kept happening to people in all these embassies and you know what I mean? And think about it. Now when we talk about Russia, we're so like Russia collusion. And they're blowing this story off. The intelligence agencies are going, nah, it's not real. But just as a FYI for everybody, this isn't new. In the 1960s, an electronics technician in the U.S. Embassy in Moscow found that there was mysterious radiation that was being beamed directly into the embassy. This kicked off some secret projects. I know you guys know I like about this type of secret stuff. Under the CIA, you guys can look this up. The top secret projects were called Project Bazaar, Project Mutz, Project Big Boy, and they sought out to find out why U.S. embassies were being bombarded with microwave radiation and what effects it was having on the personnel and why those personnel were having a higher cancer rate than anybody else in the world. So think about this. We're talking about some advanced, like, CIA spy type stuff where they're targeting. This is the real Russia. I know Adam thinks he's my best friend. This is real Russians. This is them using the
Dear Putin.
Putin. Well, whatever.
We're best friends. You and Putin are also best
that's
friends.
why it's my homie.
That's
but
not my guy.
Think about this type of technology. So now when, I think, Rob, you told me this, when Biden mentions a couple weeks ago when he was like, yeah, well, I think it was fires or somewhere. He goes, they had those roofs that don't get attacked. This is why that whole Hawaii thing they were talking about, people were seeing beams and stuff coming out of the sky, hitting things. We have the technology. Russia has been using this technology, and it's kind of wild that all that Russian collusion that everybody kind of brushed off and like it made it sound like, okay, whatever, it was all fake. This is the real.
Benny, I'm going to hit you with what PBD always says to me. I'm born and raised in Miami. Shout out to my Cuban friends. When I think of Havana Syndrome, I think of something else. Yeah. Oh, yeah, mi gente down in Miami. What's the point?
The point is they are the type of attack that we're getting now. This Havana stuff is happening right now, starting in the 60s, and they're going after people that are investigating anything with Russia, like literally coming through their houses. So what I'm saying is when other people talk about those crazy conspiracies that there's freaking laser beams to their heads, it's actually true. What
should we be looking out for, Vinny?
So if President Biden were to say, I think Havana Syndrome is affecting my ongoing, would you vote for it?
Definitely no.
Why? You just said this is a real thing.
No, because of his before he started getting the Havana Syndrome, from all the stuff, from all his crime bill and all, I can never vote for him.
No, he's had it since then.
I have a Cuomo, great question. You know how PBD asked you if there's anything that Trump can do to get your vote. You said it started with stop attacking my family. Hello. Vincent, at this point, is there anything Biden can do, Havana Syndrome or not, to ever get your vote?
Let me.
Or is there anything that Trump could do to ever lose your vote?
Let me
or
do
are you
this.
completely
Let me do
fixed?
this at the Biden question. Let me stack some papers and absolutely effing not. Joe Biden. There's just off. I'll just do one thing. The fact that him and Mayorkas have right now, as we speak, a wide open border, and let's speak fact. Young women are getting raped, murdered,
Graped.
Well, they are.
Use the
Around.
word grape.
Why? Because you'll get censored.
Yo, Mo, I don't give a damn. By the way, it's happening.
That's fine.
It's changing the dynamic of the country. And the fact that it's not happening, it'll never happen to anybody that's close to Biden or anybody close to Mayorkas. I can never, ever do that because those families are being devastated by a freaking policy. And then guess what? Karine Jean-Pierre goes up and says, yeah, you know what? She always does this, that freaking... The worst DEI hire in the history of our country. She's like, you know what? The Republicans, if they just signed the bill to send $60 billion to Ukraine, we could have fixed the border. That's her attitude. Her attitude is the reason the border is a problem because the bipartisan bill wasn't approved because we didn't send $60 billion to Ukraine. F that, because I don't wish anything on anybody, but until the border starts affecting those people, like until Mayorkas' cousin gets raped and murdered, it's never going to change.
God forbid, but I'll tell you what, it's going to affect them because it's going to determine the election.
Yes.
I think
It's the major domestic issue. It's not the
economy. It used to be the economy, and now it is immigration.
It's the
You're
southern
absolutely
border.
right.
100%. That's the main thing.
Tom, what are your thoughts on the story? Anything with Havana Syndrome? Do you have any thoughts on it?
Nations have been finding creative ways to kill each other's spies for a long time. And when you had the gentleman, I forget which one it was, and I don't want to mispronounce a Russian name, who was merely walking through a bar, and then he was sprayed on the back of his head and on his shoulders with polonium, which is one of the byproducts of nuclear power plants.
It's also the name of one of Vinny's colognes.
Polonium.
That's it, polonium. That's right.
By Davidoff. Go ahead.
That's right.
Litvinenko.
If the love doesn't kill you, the cologne will.
Oh, that's him. That's him, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly. He ingested polonium.
Alexander Litvinenko.
Yeah, they sprayed him, and then, he was... So there have been creative ways to kill enemies and spies for a long time. Are there weapons out there that they're trying to use to interfere with diplomats? I'm sure they are. Is this all related? Is Havana Syndrome, because Havana is an isolated outpost in many ways, is that a place? Maybe, where there's smoke, there's fire, but do I connect the dots and say absolutely? I'd love to see more information, but I think once something happens, PBD, it's too easy to say, oh, it's that, oh, it's that, oh, it's that.
I want to do the amount of traffic we're getting right now with Menect is unbelievable. Yesterday, I can't even tell you how many Menects came through yesterday for me. Great conversations, people booking 15-minute calls. Tom is about to cross 2,000 Menects. Okay, he'll be the first person to have 2,000 paid Menects there. I know Chris is probably one of the fastest to respond on Menec. I think he's a 24-hour guy at 100% response back to answer. So if you have any questions today, if you disagree with me or agree with Tom or Vinny or Adam or Cuomo, these are their QR codes. Ask him any question you want on Menec. There's a 95% chance you get a respond back. On Instagram, you get respond backs 5%. On LinkedIn, 5%. On Twitter, less than 10%. On Menect, there's a 90 to a 95% chance they're going to get back to you.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.